on this live presentation in the year 2022. This morning, that is at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock this morning, we will look at uh, a civil society organization that focuses on the issue of human rights, the issue of election observation in Liberia. Indeed, will be our guest this morning. That is from 8:15 up around 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning, we'll play host to the vision barrier of the first Liberia movement. The vision barrier of the first Liberia movement, Sheikh Kuyata, indeed, will be here this morning. He will be sharing breakfast with us this morning, and it runs up to 10 o'clock. We will be looking at too many issues in Liberia as we end the year. You know, it is a year-end interview. So Sheikh, indeed, will be here this morning. And invite somebody, folks. Those of you following the live, you just saw the notification some, like say, 2 seconds ago. And all you need to do this morning for us, tell us where exactly are you following us from, and invite somebody to be part of the presentation. You wouldn't want to miss exactly what we'll be doing here this morning. Within 15 minutes time, we want to look at the performance of our government officials and, you know, the ministries and agency in government. We want to look at that performance. And so we will give you the opportunity this morning as Liberians, as citizens of this country. I know you guys have been following our series in terms of making in telling you um, when do government officials go to work? Those who have been paid with taxpayers' money, when do they go to work? We embarked on that series little part of this year. You know, in this year we embarked on that series, and we've been moving. It is an innovation here at Voice of Liberia, and we decided that Liberians feel a part in what we do. So this morning we will give you the opportunity. We will afford you the opportunity, Liberians, to tell us which one of the government institution, which one of the government ministry uh, performed in the year 2022, and which one of the government ministry didn't perform at all. That is seen to be the most reckless ministry in the governance space of our country with the year on review. So we want to look at the best performing ministry. It will be based on your opinion, and you're going to tell us why. And those of you who will be calling this morning, we don't want you calling us, say, according from the Backwood Avenue, and thank to the president or thank you for the show. There's no, we don't want it. We want you to be straight to the point. We want you to be straight to the point. As you call, state your name, and yeah, so the location, yes. Which one of the ministries is the most performing ministry in government in the year 2022? Okay, the ministry of X, Y. You consider the ministry of X to be the best performing ministry in government. Then you state your reason. Is it is because the government, you know, that ministry was able to do this, do that. At most, uh, 45 seconds. Okay, at most 45 seconds. So we're going to do that this morning. It is an exercise, but let's welcome Harris. Good morning, Harris, and welcome.
Good morning, Parker. Good morning to the folks listening. And I'm excited this morning. I'm thrilled, especially that this is the last presentation for the year 2022.
Mhm.
And as I listen to the intro, in everything we do, got to give God the praises
Mhm.
because to be alive up to present, it has to be God, and definitely it's God that has been carrying us through. And so I woke up this morning full of excitement that at least when I look around, some immediate, since I can see, I can hear from my immediate family members and hear from me Liberians as well. And so it's because of it that we are here. And so when we have you healthy and follow us, and then we have to get God the praises for it. So indeed, I'm excited this morning.
Yes,
Definitely,
certainly.
I am excited.
Yeah, so I know. I don't like, we must be thankful to God Almighty. It got to be God. Yes, indeed, it got to be God. In everything we do, we must reference God because He gives us the strength. Many people who like sometimes when you listen and you see it on social media, you see somebody telling, someone who is very healthy, say, rest in peace. It speaks a volume to a larger extent and say, but is it I'm so extra? We say, no, these are people who are accomplished, who have accepted some level of regals in their existence on this earth. Then you say, but what have I done to impact the life of somebody? You sit and analyze, what really have I done, to impact somebody? And you seen someone who you saw maybe 2 days ago, 3 days ago, and the present is no more. Indeed, it got to be God. So in everything I do, brother, I must reference God. And I'm grateful to God Almighty for always providing me the opportunity, you know, for giving me the opportunity. It is an opportunity,
Definitely.
afforded us to see another day. So it got to
Like I,
be
like I,
God.
like I, like I always tell people, being alive is not your right, right? It
Mhm.
is a privilege, like I give to you. So that's why every time you have every minute you have the opportunity, you say thank you.
Yes.
You say thank you, and you always be appreciative to what God has done for you. Because for
Hmm.
some of us, it takes the grace of God that's given us through.
Yeah,
Now
sure.
there are so
So we're
many
vulnerable.
that
We're very vulnerable.
very vulnerable, especially for uh, uh, in all fairness, we say thank you, Jehovah,
Thank you.
and which we had the time to conduct a person worship. Yeah, definitely we're going to do. But it's great speaking with
Yeah,
you.
so thank you for taking us to January 1 to the 30th of January or December 2022. Indeed, it got to be God. It's great to be here this morning, folks. Those of you following the live, share the live. We are on the process as well. And you will indeed be part of the entire presentation this morning. We want to acknowledge your contribution as well. This morning, 10 minutes up to it. And like we said, we want to do this exercise. Harris,
Mm.
are you set? We want to do this
Yeah,
exercise.
definitely, I am. I
Like we
am.
said, you're going to call us this morning. Call us and state your name. Tell us exactly where you joined the conversation from. But now, just saying, oh, the unnecessary ones, we wouldn't take the unnecessary ones. Okay? And then you tell us which government ministry is the best performing ministry. And when you call the government ministry, I think we're going to know the name of the minister.
Mhm, mhm.
And then you got two options. One is which ministry or which minister is the best performing minister or ministry in the year 2022. And then which one is the
The,
reckless,
the,
the
the,
most
the
reckless,
worst.
the worst performing ministry in the year 2022. It is an exercise we're on this morning, fellow Liberians. We want to get your view on that particular one. Like we said, today is the last presentation of Good Morning Liberia. Anytime you listen to us on this radio will be other Monday where we'll
Mm.
come. We want to get your view on your resolution for
Yeah,
2022.
yeah.
Yes, like and so forth. So, but it's great to be here this morning. My name is April Parker. I'm excited to be in here. I'm feeling but
Mm.
it got to be good, really. It got to be good. I'm overexcited. Okay, so we got to move on now. So you're going to call us, those of you in the US too as well. You're following us as per the WhatsApp number is pinned. The number will be +231 775 1891 93. That is for those of you in the US. And those of you in Liberia, the numbers I 0770 907 907 0770 907 907. Record
Mm.
0880 907 907, and you will be live on Good Morning Liberia. It is an exercise. We want you to tell us which minister or ministry is the best performing ministry in the year 2022 on the George Weah led administration, and which one didn't do any. Couple they didn't do. They did not perform at all. Tell us this morning. Call us now, and you will be live on Good Morning Liberia at 8 o'clock. Okay. Coming up, we're going to do that. Okay. All right. So the numbers are being read out. Yes, the numbers are out. We have a caller. We'll talk to this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. What's your name? First female caller.
I'm gracious to
Gracious. You call from where?
HHKC.
Okay, let's hear you. As per the question being asked, which ministry or minister is the best performing minister in 2022, and which one is the worst? The ministry.
If you ask me, I will tell you I select the finance ministry.
Finance ministry occupied by Minister Samuel Tuwe. Why?
In terms of what, the worst or the best performance? I mean, you got to make her understand.
I'm making a step foreign affairs, rather.
Foreign affairs as what? The best performing minister?
Yeah.
The best performing minister.
Oh, you talking about the minister? I said foreign affairs.
Okay.
Samuel Tuwe.
No, Samuel Tuwe is not at the. I think you got to really define what you do. 0770 907 907. We want for people to be real to the conversation this morning. 0770 907 907, 0880 907 907. This person is online too. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Good morning. I join you for Ginger of VOA.
Okay, let's hear you. What's your name?
My name is Diavin Wisa.
Okay, let's move on. Which ministry is the best performing ministry in Liberia in the year 2022?
Minister of Finance, Professor Dr. Sanatwe.
Why?
The economy was crying, dragging on the stomach. Sanatwe took it from crying up to now is staying. So to green as the best minister since that God was funded. No minister.
Okay, thank you.
Compared to Sanatwe.
Let's go. The worst one, the worst performing ministry.
I don't get it clear.
The worst performing ministry. Which one of the ministry didn't work at all?
Okay. When I see the ministry, but the agency that DEA, that the bodies that the people are counted now.
Okay, so you go to the DEA.
Yeah, the least.
Okay, the least. Okay, thank you. We'll talk to this person. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you. What's your name? Quickly.
This is Charles Jason Adoko from Clay Ashland.
Let's hear you. The best performing ministry in 2022.
I would take the finance ministry.
Finance ministry. Why?
Because the minister took us from grace to grace.
Economic policy.
Yeah. We've been experiencing a lot of problems, especially when it comes to changing our country, to get change from marketeers and whole other stuff. And he makes sure he brought change for the Liberian people. So right now, anywhere you go to get your business going, you get change. You not get no conflict with your business people.
Okay. All right. Thanks for joining us. The worst ministry.
The worst ministry, I would say right now, from my own observation, I would look at foreign affairs and education ministry.
Foreign what?
Foreign affairs and ministry.
No, let's take one now. Let's take one.
All right, let's take ministry of education.
Ministry of education, the worst.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
In a sense, where if you do a final check and you have to find out the amount of ghost names that they have on the payroll. Where do people they can be from on the campus, but their names there and they say taking pay, but they don't even come to the school. But because they have their people as maybe principal or other part of the government that got their names there.
No,
Stephen Reese.
we got something. Thank you. We got stuff. Good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Let's hear you. We'll take the guest.
I found a web ministry.
I mean, what's your name? What's your name?
My name is Prince Ghana.
You call from where?
Calling from Katan.
Let's hear you. The best performing ministry.
The West. The West.
The worst. Let's hear you.
Yeah, the West is Labor Ministry.
Labor ministry. Why?
Because you're not performing that duty.
They're not performing at duty.
Yeah.
The best performing ministry.
Yeah, you're not performing.
I mean, which one of the ministry performed well in your administration in this administration 2022? You pay attention.
Okay, the 2023 performance ministry is education.
Education.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they are doing our duty.
What?
They're doing our duty because they are school and all school going to school.
Okay, all school going to school. Thank you. We'll talk to this person. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah,
Where are you
sorry,
joining the
the
conversation?
radio was having that make it,
Go ahead.
Just go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Adama Kane. President for my area, Bubulu Highway, Bamata.
Okay, let's hear you.
The agriculture is the west to be faced. I don't know what I will be faced.
Why you think the agricultural ministry is the worst ministry?
Yes, because you see, I want to associate and say that I've been advocating for empowerment for family. I advocate 5 years.
Okay, no empowerment.
I call on radio and they hear me. I send letter to ministry to places and they refuse to empower me and they refuse to empower me.
Okay, brother, that one I personal on it. Let's go. Let's go to the best performing ministry.
I don't see nobody.
Okay, so you not see nobody. Thank you, brother. Let's talk to this person. Good morning. Hope you got that point. Yeah, let's hear you. What's your name?
This is Roman Satara. I join you for single.
Yuma, let's hear you. Best performing ministry.
Best performing ministry 2022. I gave you Ministry of National Defense.
Ministry of National Defense. Why?
Because the soldiers always represent also the country when they go there they perform and also in the country they also perform. So a great national defense ministry.
Defense. Daniel Zianga. Let's go to the worst.
The West Ministry, Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor is the West Ministry in the Republic of Liberia.
Ministry of Labor. Why you consider the Ministry of Labor to be the worst?
What makes Ministry of Labor West, in my own view, is they are not in the interest of Liberian people. They are not moving around to see how much Liberians are making their safety.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. This person. Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Good morning.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, this is Lloyd D. Johnson, Citizen by Loyalty, and I join you from District number 11, Quebec Community.
Man, let's hear you.
Yeah, I think the best performing ministry is what Ministry of Finance, Samuel Tue.
Samuel Tue, Ministry of Finance.
Yeah.
Why?
Because since they may take over, they may balance our economy. The rate that remains stable and
the worst. Let's hear the worst.
The what? Otherwise, the stable last the economy.
The worst ministry. The worst ministry.
Oh, on the worst Ministry of Labor.
Ministry of Labor. Ministry of Labor is the worst ministry, and you think they're not doing the labor matter? Thank you. This person on line 5. Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
This is Honorable Buffrey and calling from local county.
Let's hear you. What? Let's hear you.
Okay, the West Ministry is agriculture.
What's ministry? Agriculture. Why?
Yes, because now in Liberia no food.
No food.
No food in Liberia, and the people are giving agriculture break to representatives. They are not going further to see how bad people doing with agriculture's money.
So that's why the worst ministry. Let's hear you. The best performing ministry.
The best performing ministry is Ministry of Finance.
Ministry of Finance. Why?
Yeah, because now if you can even go and buy something you and your buyer, you will not make conference due to the king's business. Because I can say I grade them Moses. No king's business have in Liberia, Nana.
Thank you. This person. Good morning. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Good morning.
Go ahead.
This is Ben Jazza from Power.
Carwell, let's hear your best performing ministry.
For me, I've not seen no ministry that performs this.
So
No
zero,
ministry.
you're going to zero them?
Yeah, zero them, more especially the justice ministry. The ministry was a lot of mysterious there's no justice. Even the perpetrator never brought the justice.
The worst.
The worst to be friend. I want to say now.
Okay. Ministry of Justice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Performance be zero. Okay. Thank you. Let's talk to this person. Good morning. Line 5. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
I'm Emily Sinyana calling from Johnsonville.
Johnsonville. Let's hear you. Best performing ministry.
The best performing ministry is Ministry of Defense.
Why? National defense. Why?
Yeah, national defense. Yeah, we know the army size we have, they are not too large, but then the defending our borders and things are moving on,
Okay.
finally with our neighbor countries.
What's ministry?
The West is the Ministry of Commerce.
Commerce. Why?
Yeah, commerce. Now the day you go to hospital, you see the food we eat, the expired food and all those things in the market. they
Thank
allow
you.
it.
This person. Good morning. 15 minutes
Hello.
time will be gone. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, Ali Formula calling Okawa Johnson.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, the best ministry is Ministry of Public Works.
Public works. Why?
Because it's our best to implement the president mandate.
Implementing the president's mandate.
Of
Let's
course.
go to the worst.
The word is commerce and general.
Take
commerce
one.
and
Take one. Take one. One the
commerce.
least. Let me do that thing now. Minister of what?
Yeah, I said commerce.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Another person in the line. 0770-907-907. At 8:15 this morning, we'll take our guest. Our guest is in studio already. This is an exercise we're on. We'll talk to this person on line 2. Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Clarence P. Samonga calling from State Street.
Clarence. Let's hear you. Best performing ministry.
Ministry of Finance.
Ministry of Finance.
Yeah,
Why?
because instead that meant to take over, we are not here to cover for any change in the market.
Worst.
There was Ministry of Justice.
Ministry of Justice. Why?
They are not performing their duty well.
This person on line 2. Good morning. What's your name? That person is out. We'll try taking you, but you are. Good morning. Good morning. You can't be holding the line. Too many people. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning.
Let's hear you. Your name?
Hello.
Go ahead. What's your name?
I'm Abraham Jackson calling from Carwell.
Cardwell. Let's hear you. Best performing ministry.
Okay, for the best performing ministry, they'll take the Ministry of Finance.
Finance. Why?
Yeah. At least we can see, we understand that what they promised concerning the money, the issue, the change, and even new printing of Liberian bills, bank bills, at least they have done that, and we've seen some control over it.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's ministry?
The worst ministry is commerce.
Commerce.
The Liberian people becoming spectator in business, and the business and foreigners ruling over our business sector here, and the king doing nothing about price control.
Thank
Commerce
you.
is the worst ever.
This person. Good morning. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is Lawrence Boa, calling from Broadville, Virginia.
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the best performing ministry is NAFA.
NAFA. Okay. NAFA. Yes. NAFA is the best performing institution.
Institution, yeah.
Yes.
And the worst is Ministry of Finance.
Ministry of Finance is the worst.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
This person on line 1. Yes, we'll take this line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
Good.
Call from where?
I'm calling to talk about
Okay, Tottenham, bro. Yes. Okay. Let's look at the best performing ministry from your angle in
Yeah,
Mecklenburg.
you know, the worst performing ministry in life, to my idea,
Mhm.
is the ministry of labor.
Ministry of Labor. Why?
On the very serious, you see, nowadays, ministry of labor is not working in the interest of Liberia.
Okay.
You,
Ministry of Labor
you,
is now working. So
that's
no
the-
no explanation. Let's go to the best performing ministry.
hello?
Let's get to the best performing ministry.
And when it comes to salary, when you take the salary, you only buy half back already, it's finished in life.
What is the
But they are
best
not
performing
working.
ministry?
The what? Oh, the best performing minister. For me, I will look at. I don't think go to the next person. I don't think any best ministry in
Okay,
Nigeria.
zero.
Go to this person. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good man, there's some
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
Voilà.
Dwala. Let's hear you. Best performing ministry or agency in 2022.
The third performance ministry I see now in Liberia is the Ministry of National Defense.
National Defense.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, our AFL senior oil right where you two men people still on in the country right now.
The worst.
And then where is Ministry of Health?
Ministry of Health.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you must do man, the gay you gotta buy it.
It's the worst.
The word of the Ministry of Health.
Thank you. This person, line 2. Good morning. Let's hear you. Best performing ministry. Your name and you call from where?
My name is Joa Wento calling from Barnaville.
Let's hear you, Rav.
Yeah, the best, the worst, all the ministry is worst. Except of every
My man, but the problem. Which one is the worst, the least?
all the ministry is worst.
My man,
Except MC.
I mean, there should be one that is worse. Someone will say.
I'm gonna say what, but then I will be cheating because I
Amen.
want to see no.
Okay, let's forget it. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. You'll be live on this radio. Those of you following through WhatsApp this morning, we have one international caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, so we're having some. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Let's hear you. Your name and which country you joined us from?
I'm an honorable councillor Tikima Akwe Edgewater Niboma Junior Calibo, calling from North Shore, Mauritania.
Are you following the conversation?
Yes, sir.
So, as per your understanding in Liberia, which one of the ministry is the best performing ministry?
For now, no best in Liberia. So we have to work on everything.
The worst.
Yes, no best.
Yeah, which one is the worst?
Everything is worse, my brother. Nothing working in Liberia. Who here we know?
So if you would take one, which one you think is the least?
As for now, we can say the agriculture is the least because more people in the village or area by themselves for no support.
Okay, thank you, my brother.
Okay, sir.
Our brother from Mauritania. Okay, he's following us too as well. This person, the lines is this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You got it, man.
I'm getting them.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Chacha Hamok.
Okay, let's hear you, Joshua. Let's hear you. Best performing ministry.
Everything not performing well.
Among and
Everything else,
someone else do something and which that who?
Ministry of Labor.
Ministry of Labor the best?
For what? The West.
The Ministry of Labor is the worst. Why you think the
Yeah,
Ministry of Labor is the worst?
because actually it's not really doing work, and then now working with Lebanese, the Indian people who are really teaching up God. And then now in fact that people when they got to our own rent, they will come and stand for the people's time. So to me,
Okay,
they're not
Baba.
performing well.
So
All right.
so everybody that was so you can take anybody, right?
I get thinking about if you go to here, sometimes it's the same.
There's zero. Okay. This person, Harris will do the
Yeah,
good morning. We'll take 2 calls to call it a day on this segment. We gotta take our guest. Let's hear you. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Morris. Is calling from New Jersey.
Zeze, go ahead.
The West and more all the ministry in Liberia, like will not improve until Liberian post are protesting again. Like labor.
Ministry of Labor.
Go to FPRC, the industrial park. I mean, go see our brother them working next leave.
Okay. Man, which one the best performing ministry?
When ask me say the best, I think when I say Liberian post will know I'm talking to you, it will be the defense ministry. The defense, I think is the best because we see our brother right here, and we see how I made, schedule yourself respectfully,
Okay, thank you. We'll take 2 calls. Yes, we'll call it a day. This person number 1. Good morning.
Good morning, dear.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
My name is Caslo Turo.
Yeah.
The worst ministry is the Ministry of Finance.
Ministry of Commerce.
Where you have all the money in the bank, still on the market. Whether which one takes precedent over the other one, no one knows. It's the worst in my life.
Okay. Thanks for joining us. Okay. So we'll take the last call. The last call. Where are we going? We'll go to Crossfire to take the last call. This person should be our last caller. Good morning.
Yeah, I am Prince Yulongakwa from Cal City.
Prince, let's hear you. Go ahead.
The worst performing ministry.
Prince.
And the best.
My man, Latin, what you talk, we not get it. So talk it over.
And the best is Ministry of Defense, National Defense.
Ministry of National Defense is the best. The worst is what?
The worst is Ministry of Commerce.
Commerce.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Harris, let's do the calculation. Let's tally the entire thing.
Yeah, I think we'll take our television break, or you.
Yes, so we'll go for.
We...
No, I think the stuff will give us.
No, I haven't sent it.
Okay, so we'll go for a break here. We'll take a message from Telecel. As a matter of fact, Telecel is the best internet service provider in Liberia.
Okay.
On 3rd Street, go there. It comes in different packages and be part of the word. It is always good to be part of the word. So go at Telecel's office on 3rd Street, and it can be used in your homes, in your offices, and workplaces, different areas, hotels, beaches, and the rest of the areas. Indeed, to be part of the word. It's on Good Morning Liberia. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll do the calculation, the tallying of what the views of Liberians are this morning. And we're going to tell you the best performing ministry and the worst ministry this morning. So we'll take a break right here. And we will be right back. Coming up, we'll take our guest this morning on the show.
Yes, all I want for Christmas is Tedacell. Yes, Tedacell is giving away this festive season beginning December 1st to the 31st of December. Free equipment leasing fees for all its new customers. Are you ready for the fastest internet service in Liberia? If you are, visit us at 10th Street directly opposite the Cattle Building or call us at 0770 399 399 or 0881 399 399 0881 399 399. Are you ready to be speed and fast with the fastest internet service in Liberia? Yes, Datacell, connecting the unconnected.
To be back on Good Morning Liberia. Okay, 104.1 FM is about time now. We announce our result to you, and we're going to award the most reckless ministry in Liberia. The reckless, it has to. You can be occupying farm building, but you can be reckless. Once you're reckless, you ain't doing anything at all. And sometimes you can be in all building, grass all over, debted like the Ministry of Justice, and you can do something, right? Debted like the Ministry of Justice, but you can still do something. So we're going to look at that this morning. Though they got other ministries at the Ministry of what is stuff, the ministerial complex, right? We got too many good ministries over there, but you can be in good building and do nothing. So Harris, let's hear you.
Yeah,
as per the voting.
Definitely, as per the voting.
How many votes we had?
Firstly, you got to understand this is how we did our talent thing. Our quarter and choose their best performing and our worst performing. Now, what happened is those are choose. For instance, if they say all of the ministries didn't perform, right, we didn't take that vote because
it's zero. Yeah.
If we say all of the ministries did well, we didn't take that vote. So if you understand, we have 41 person that side with a best performing.
Okay.
And we have 35 that side with worst performing. So the numbers the same men aside for best performing side as well for worst performing. But it depends on if you generalize it, we don't take that vote. So we'll begin with the best performance. We'll have NAFA has 1 vote.
1 vote.
Yeah, that's the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. We'll have the Ministry of Public Works has 6 votes. Best performing ministry. We'll have the Ministry of National Defense had 16. And the Ministry of Finance had 18. So in totality, the Ministry of Finance won as best performing ministry. And
so on behalf of on behalf of the public, yeah, for us here at Voice of Liberia, we decided to conduct this survey, this exercise this morning for Liberians to know, because we started this exercise. We went to government institutions. We visited government institutions. Sometimes you go to the ministry, the man, you're doing something just to say, the man want ticket to be big as if you're going to expose some of the things they're doing, some money they want to fight and the rest of it. So as per what the public told us this morning, the Ministry of Finance, occupied by Samuel Toure, is the best performing ministry. And it says, what's that?
And according to them, the policies put in place, economic policies, and the stability in exchange rate are reasons to which they graded finance ministry as the best performance. And the Ministry of Defense came second because of the performances of the army outside. But every time when the army goes outside, it represents the country well.
Okay,
so the Ministry of Defense came second.
So congratulations to the Ministry of Finance, Samuel Toure. As per the survey this morning, Liberians have selected your institution as the best performing ministry in the year 2022 under President George Weah. So education then at 0. Foreign affairs, that's 0. What is other place? Justice, that's 0. And the rest of the area. So let's come to the worst The worst performing ministry government
The
institution in
worst
Liberia.
performance ministry. We have to take our guests who got to be fast.
Yeah,
with things.
very fast.
Ministry of Agriculture, 8 persons voted. Worst ministry. Ministry of Commerce, 7 persons voted. Worst ministry.
That this get up, man, wanting this.
The Ministry of Justice, 8 persons voted as worst ministry. So the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Agriculture had 30 votes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
as
But the
worst-
Justice
as
Ministry
worst
is
ministry.
the most dirtiest ministry.
And the Ministry of Labor. And the president refused to shake the man.
What happened to the people now call information ministry need anything else?
No. The Ministry of Labor is the worst performance ministry. I'm saying the worst performing ministry, right? They have 12 persons that said the Ministry of Labor did not perform up to the expectation of the Liberian people. And according to them, the reason they give is that the Labor Ministry is not seeking the interest of Liberians.
But how many times we say the thing here? The ministry, think the Liberian people have said it. So, Minister, what it needs.
One of the things I learned from this is that history remembers you too well.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
Minister Charles Gesing, when they were passing you. Yeah. They were passing you for you to occupy some of the Chonyi say they say no. The Chonyi say the men say no. So they Chonyi you on the other side now. You go there, still you're not working. So Papa tell you a war, yeah? You the worst. Papa, Minister of Labor, Charles Gesing, Papa, you the worst. You not do nothing. The people say you not do nothing. Nothing you do for you to impress the people. Or you got labor cases all around. You're not even working in the interest. So the people say you get 0. So Papa tell you what. So congratulations to Minister Charles Gesing being the worst minister in 2022 under the George Weah-led administration. We'll get you an award. This morning we'll do a presentation of the award to the ministry. When you go there again, the man will not be in your office.
I think it's important we do a certificate for them.
Yeah,
this is why Liberian people told us.
That's what the Liberian people say.
It's not our own judgment.
Yeah.
So it's important we award them.
Yeah, so we'll do an award. From here, we'll do your the award.
I always believe when you feel there's still room that you can come back.
So the manager will sign it, the CEO will sign it.
And the CEO will do a presentation. You know what I mean, board. Charles Gibson. The president, you said, or the president arrived. Nothing the CEO captured for that thing, my man.
The president
refused to show the man, my man.
I mean about me.
Like, who let the man see that whole thing?
So, Papa, congratulations. You carry your award as the worst ministry. Congratulations. So, like we said, we'll bring your award to they go to the play. The mayor will not be in office. The mayor is not always in office. So, how will the mayor get vote? If we're going to open the line here from now to tomorrow morning, brother, the mayor staying can't do anything. The mayor stay coming to win as the worst minister in Liberia. So, Papa, they say you got 0 vote. So, you got 12 persons that voted in the morning. They say you're not doing nothing.
Yeah, we got to tell our guest.
So our guest is up next. Like we said, our guest comes from the civil society background, and that interview will run up to 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. Tough talking Sheikh Kuyate will sit on the scope this morning to take our hard questions. It's on Good Morning Liberia. My name is April and Parker, folks. Harris Wheeler is here as well, and our guest is up next. We hope we get the show going. So that's it for you. It is an exercise that we decided to undertake, and it is always good to do these things for people to know what they're doing, because when you don't know what you're doing, it's very bad. When you don't know what you're doing, it is bad, very, very bad. And thank God we got a civil society organization here that can monitor too. They will actually talk about some of these things as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Liberia. It's nice having you.
I think it's Mike's.
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
So you want to dress closer to the mic as we start the conversation this morning. Those of you following, the viewers would like to say, you so special, welcome. You are so special, welcome to the show. We will definitely acknowledge those of you following this morning. Yes, so welcome. What's your name? Just state your name and the civil society organization you represent.
Mr. Patrice Zonti Bahar. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of
That'll
Africa.
come again with a name, brother.
Patrice Zonti Bahar,
Okay.
the Chief Executive Officer of African Democratic Observations, Peaceful Election, and the governance Adopish.
Okay. Liberians are listening. They are concerned about your institution. Democratic, the word is being mentioned. And I'm told that you released your annual report. You have released your annual report. Firstly, tell us a bit about your institution.
Well, Adopish with African Democratic Observations for Peaceful Election, and good governance. She was established in 2019. Technically and practically 2020, we started our activities. And we had been undertake a series of activities on the promotions of the human rights and democracy and good governance in Liberia. And when COP demonstrated the protest 2019, we was deployed, but our independence observer to report on all human rights violations, and the report was granted. And then later on, COVID-19 took over. We participated in 2 counties in Liberia, Moseratos and Margibi counties on COVID-19's awareness. And when the special sanitary election took place in Liberia in 2020, December, we was accredited by the National Election Commission, and we deploy almost 400 observers across Liberia, and we make report on the election activities. And after that, the by-election on representative election in the full electoral district, we also again participated to observe the election process. And in the special sanitary by-election in Lofa County, we deploy again election observers. And again, we are also been following election activities, in the South regions. Like in September of 2020, September 18, the Republic of Guinea election that took place, we condemned the entire electoral process because it against the constitution by the president Alpha Condé to go for the third term. We released a press conference against that. It was in Cote d'Ivoire as well. In 2020, October 30th, we also condemn the entire process because they should have followed the constitution, who is the organic, law of the democratic states.
You must have some level of international connections if you melt into the politics of other African nations as well. Looking at your name, the Democratic Observation for Peaceful Elections and Good Governance. Does it, like the example you gave in Guinea, making reference to Guinea, it tells you might have had some level of international power to monitor as well.
Yes, exactly, sir. We don't monitor, we observe. There's a little difference between monitoring and observation.
Okay.
Is the National Election Commission have the power to monitor, but we observe this process. We observe after we critique, we report on this process. Now, coming to establish Adopish in Liberia, I serve several time election observers.
Okay.
I've been to Rwanda, I've been to Gambia, I've been to Sierra Leone, the Liberia's my own country, like Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso. I deal with, I put all this expertise together and I returned to Liberia and decided to establish this institution.
So I'm a bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned about the observation aspect of it. It points to some extent that your organization is basically about observation. I mean, to what extent the observation, the observance role you play is helping the electoral process within the southwest region of Africa?
For example, today we are going to engage in Liberia and democratically proceeded. Liberia, she had a very good position in terms of democracy as well because she has experienced the transition. President Ellis Johnson, Liberia and Sierra Leone transition are taking place. Most often, the Francophone state in West Africa, the transitions have not been only Niger that started it. Now, when we get to election activities, like to observe the election, in the first place, I was organization, so should be a thematic area at the top of election activities.
Okay.
And based also on our expertise. So now we will go and write the National Election Commission. She has a function, to engage all election activity in a democratic state like Liberia, and they will come and peruse our document. If we are up to start, they gave our recognition letter, which was sometimes certificate on civil and voter education awareness, and also to be accreditation to observe any elections in Liberia. Nigeria, it will start.
Okay. All right. So if I got you right, the issue of transition places Liberia as a country in the world above other nations. But does it mean that we have experienced a level of gain in democracy, linking election in other West African countries as well?
Also, well, for my expertise and the references that we got together, so friendly speaking, election fraud are not yet occurs in Liberia. Okay, you might also say irregularities in the deployments of election material. The electors will not be able to vote, that because the country not developed to the extent, the road network, all those occur. But what the critical aspect is of what frauds. In Liberia, okay. Yes, experienced it.
Okay.
And they gave President Ellie Salin after a separate time, who is a new law to any democratic proceeding, and she accepted and also to turn the power over 2017 peacefully. So and there were some other West African states locked up. It happened in Cote d'Ivoire, it happened in Guinea. You see, so now if you look at it, and when you notice African state today, most African state conflict is started for election. And when you check your Liberia, not yet part of it. So there went for hours, all research, great Liberians at a little bit, level.
I'm concerned. Sometimes in 2011, during the 2011 elections, after that process, supporters of this current regime now, when they were in opposition, expressed disenchantment that that electoral process was somehow fraud, and you could listen to seditions at the time say that the election was rigged. But now, if your organization is saying that Liberia over the time has maintained a very peaceful process, and there has not been any electoral fraud, have your organization carried on an investigation or perhaps a research on Liberia to prove what you are saying?
But then my institution, my organization were not yet existing, but we are not yet come across any report under the 2011 election by international observers that it was a fraud.
What basically do you classify as a fraudulent election?
Good. For example, statistics have been given, okay, and also been measured. Because election, you have a local observer, you have international observers. And observers are not biased, they are independent. They from the civil society organization, they from the diplomatic corps, they come back to promote democracy in any state.
Okay.
And when they are being accredited by the National Election Commission, by all any institutions that responsible for election activities, it usually give them that credibility, they have a function to play. So their report, it goes internally and externally.
Okay.
It's not just based in this country. You don't burden. Okay, so based on their report, and also on those who will be vetted, who will lose the election process, you compare. Okay, then we are getting somewhere.
Okay.
But you are not seeing 2011 election, or I've been mentioned in a report that election observer have been accredited local international say there was a fraud.
Okay.
But honest, the political party, if you're disenchanted.
Okay. So meaning you want to turn the disenchantment of political institutions as just maybe irregularities into an electoral process that cannot be amounted or accounted to being a flaw.
In all cases as well, all cases they are fundamental rights. But most often nationalists believe or observers that are coming to engage or to be accredited in this process, all of them, if there's any fraud, it will be measured. They are independent. But where remember is election is a process, not an event. And in a process, it takes a time. And get at the end, someone spend their resources, their energies, their ideas, and they, at the end of the day, they lose election. That's as human as nature. Sometimes we come up with some others ideas. But if you have been captured in the report of the observers, then we are getting somewhere.
Let's move on now, Harris. We got 25 minutes. You have released your report. But first, let's look at the challenges so far in terms of your observation in Liberia since you came to be. You were accredited by the National Elections Commission to observe electioneering activities in Liberia, and I know you've gone through it. That was led to you giving a report. Is this your first report?
It's the
third report. So let's look at it bit by bit. How has it been from 2019, 2020, going to 2022? Let's look at some of the and then we'll discuss the report a bit, where we saw Liberia falling a bit, slipping, that we think we will improve in 2019, coming up to 2020, before we can come up with this report.
Yes, based on 2019, when we followed the two by-election, senatorial election after the death of the late Senator Jevalindo, and brought today senators diversity alone, and also
You gotta be
District 15.
Okay.
District 15 read Senator, Representative Abu Kamara today.
Kamara,
Like this little problem started in District 15.
Okay.
But interestingly, candidates from the opposition, the way which she proceeded, it was very good. There was a rerun, and she accepted it. And the election process, we know there should be some challenges, some difficulties, but the result at the end of the day, she accepted and peace reigned in Liberia. But then, the reruns and to condemn the first election process, I think that
What was your report?
my report on this is the elections was free, but we're not really, fair.
Okay.
Yes, we're not really fair.
That was your report
That was
prior
my
to
report.
going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
another round of the election.
Yes, it was not, fair. It's sure, just go and count. Let's rerun.
Okay, so instead of going to a rerun,
Yes.
you should have counted.
Counted.
Let's know whether this person
Exactly. It happened in Cote d'Ivoire's 2010 presidential election. President Louis Gbagbo. They have their constitution. The National Election Commission in Cote d'Ivoire, she's not responsible to report in an election matter. She only gives statistics. But the Constitutional Council of the People country gave her the winner. But the international community, because their interest in Ouattara, by France influence, they used the National Election Commission of Cote d'Ivoire to give the report. And Laurent Gbagbo waited for the Constitution. And the Constitutional Council said Laurent Gbagbo is the winner. So who is the winner? It's Laurent Gbagbo. So next, you are very responsible that election 2019 to just go and recount.
it has some negative implications in all of what you do. But I want to know your role. And after being given the responsibility by the National Elections Commission, now you have your own responsibility as an institution, or observing electioneering matters in our country. Like, this is one of the things. Like, you made reference to the 2019 by-election in District 15.
15, yes.
Yeah, District 15. That, yes, indeed, it was free. But again, that word, fair, was not, like, say, freely observed.
Yeah.
So now, I'm concerned, civil society organizations are given the opportunity. Do the National Elections Commission listen to you people?
Yes, exactly. They listen to us because we are independent. Our report not just limited in at the national level. If you listen to our TER report yesterday, we invited EU, we invited ECOWAS, we invited UNIMORA, we invited UNDP. So don't overlook NSA reports.
We're not overlooking, but
And
you
this
should have the
just
true essence, Iris.
right? And this just
Let me just come in, right? You want to know the true essence of certain thing, most especially when you say this thing is not right and you are observing something and the person cannot listen to you, like you made mention of the by-election that the election commission just went ahead, even though you made a report, but they did not listen to it, and then they move on and conducted a new election.
Yeah.
So what makes you more important, more significant into the process?
Yes, we were significant because in the first place it is our function. It is our function, but then also it should have been it was the responsibilities of the candidate. It was the responsibilities of the candidate.
Okay,
It is the
which
candidate.
type of role you think the candidate should
The
have?
candidate should have rejected. Instead, it is you go to the law to sue, and then the law going to sue you. So if you are going to stand or that civic right and say no, this is what I propose, then you are getting somewhere. But I've been already captured in the report from the civil society organization angle.
Okay. How is you wanted to?
My question was relative to the report, right? You have released 3 different reports.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about how do you treat those reports released? I mean, it's just about just calling a press conference and have it read and just be done. I mean, or when you present, I'm saying we got off the findings. Do you present them to national government? Do you present them to the National Elections Commission, perhaps telling them that this is where you erred, these are the ways you can correct them, and this is how we can move Liberia democratically? I mean, how do you treat those reports?
Yes, exactly. It's a non-serious organization. They are institutions, and these are credible institutions with powers by the full estate. So it is one of our functions. You undertake, good numbers of activities, and the years going to end to relate first to your board member, to relate again to the nation, to the report, and across the continent. That's what we did yesterday. So this report is where it goes belong. If we go to the National Commission, they was invited in the all diplomatic or international institution in Liberia was invited.
So let's read the report now, the 2022 report. Let's deal specifically with this 2022 report. What are your key findings? I mean, what are the key objectives of the report and things you pointed out in the report on yesterday?
Well, yesterday's report captures three major themes: our achievement, our challenges, and recommendation to the national.
Let's look at the achievement.
The achievement. The achievements we promoted human rights. Human rights in full.
How did you do it? I mean, I specifically, if I had the time to visit some parts of Liberia and ask for your organization, I want to believe that it will be a big change to many Liberians out there. So if you are promoting human rights, in what way are you doing it?
We want to see human rights to be the tools of democracy. Human rights plays a major role. In the first place, there is no crime without violations of human rights in Liberia, West Africa. So when human rights have been enlisted to the various community, have been carried on by the awareness, by the social organization, by other institutions, actually people will be conscious. They have to be conscious to the standard about to honor human rights. And this is why we see necessary as pro-democracy institution to engage it, because we notice that the domestic violence, gender space, sexual gender-based violence are taking place. Okay, and you notice again if you open to visit various police stations today, they got some cases. Pre-trial detainee, there are some cases, and sometimes they reach at the police level, coming head of our community. When they go there, police they begin to ask, sometimes they complain and on the accused or the defendant, where did you work? Did you know this kind of question? Sometimes they want to position themselves to be obeying this process. If it may be now the defendant or the accused say that, he's jobless, not working, then the complainant say, he's doing social job, he's a teacher or he's a businessman, right there, because they know at the end of the day, the case will get something. They will turn the case over.
Have you observed that?
Several times. Myself was victim as activist in the process. I went to bat my head one time in Peaceville on Sunday evening. And then the Nigerians guy, because most people know me to be an activist, to update them. So I was speaking on election, every activity on the promotion of democracy in the barber shop. So the Nigerian guys arrived. He said, "Why is that criticize Nigeria?" He started threatening me. So I went to police station, red light police station. He was invited. They did investigation. They found him guilty. They put him on bench. He asked for money. I said, "I give you money for what?" Say, "Oh, chief, okay, I left." I went back to the barber shop to get my team to go home. The Nigerian guy was released. He came to attack me. I went back. Right there, the next morning, I wrote National Human Rights Independent, I wrote UN Human Rights, and that professional standard that to invite the inspector to the police station and the director of operation.
What do you think is the problem? What do you think is the reason to which these things happen when people take them to police station? Usually you see them released with no, without being served.
In effect, it is impunity. The laws in Liberia are very weak.
Is that what you think?
Yes, ignorance, impunity, and wickedness. And they take advantage on the poor. So if the law remain the law, the enforcement has to be done accordingly. I think people will be cautious enough to know what they are doing. But you notice today state police officers, most often today people join the police to take advantage of others. You see traffic, I bet today being controlled by the armed carrier police. Here are you? I interview several cases of that. What the traffic officer, you don't even know. So the countries at this stage, the government need to stand strong. Me, the Minister of Justice.
If you will put that particular report, the issue of human rights violation report, maybe you say, is it on the rise in Liberia? Is it damaging for Liberia as a small country?
It's damaging. The violations on human rights is at the highest level.
What percent will you grade? What degree will you get?
60%.
60%.
Yes.
Tapping your institution.
Yes, 60%.
Yes, 60%.
Yes.
Of human rights violation. The issue of the Justice Ministry has a part to play.
Exactly.
What is your recommendation from 2019, 2020? You've been giving reports. let's look at your recommendation from 2019 and giving this year 2022 another report. Let's link it from 2019. Was it on the increase or a little decrease? And why you think was the problem? What was the cause back then? And we have 2022. You have 60% of human rights violation.
I think the aspect of education's awareness should be taken serious. Like, for example, Minister of Transport. Each time when they release the prices on transportations, you will see it be established, but the implementation is failed. So, and then if you on the vehicle, you want maybe to remind the drivers, you see the scenes that sometimes those have maybe the financial strength, they begin to against you. So if you level us on the awareness, people should be right in the know.
How do you come up with your report?
By statistic, we got people, we got agent, we got crime offenses officers in various communities that have been trained. You watch the system, they may report to us.
And they are being credible.
Exactly so.
Your report covers as well achievement, basically in lines of achievement. Can you give a notable case of which your organization came across in review 2022 that you stood by and you won a case for the victim?
Oh, several cases. But we said let's go back to the election activities. Like in Strakamo community, Concotan, we observed that election. It was free and fair, credible result. But 72nd, we condemned that election because when we were accredited, I deployed 6 elections and myself were head of mission. It was a community election. And the special election committee, her chair was one lawyer, Gauss, Uriah Gauss.
Yeah, Uriah Gauss.
Now, how will community election going to, who is a special election going to have a runoff? Have you ever seen that before? It should just be a simple majority. At the end of the day, there was a serious level of misunderstanding, confusion up to the time those chairman at the community level. You see, we condemn the entire process. And I spoke one day, I met him, I condemned the entire process. Now, visiting the Liberia police station, a lot of people have been released on pre-trial detainees. When I follow the case, if it may be, and then it should be filed to court, and the person remain there. I don't see any way forward. The third day I appear there, I will demonstrate, and the person will be released. The record was there. And Amy said there's a network marketing. I don't know, they call it a criminal. They're taking people $800 and some more US to register. They've been taking people money. But when I got to be aware,
Queen Net.
Yeah, criminal.
Yeah.
Million challenge something that they are doing is around here. And when I got to be involved, I followed that district. I followed that dossier, that case, that far. And people have been from Liberia around, they've been getting that money. So there are good numbers of our cases have been carried on.
Okay, we got to move on now. We have 11 minutes to go on this conversation. Liberia is heading to a very crucial process. And your institution, as per your explanation, observe elections activities in Liberia. The 2022 report is out. We want to know your recommendation before we can get to the issue of the election. Your clear observation.
Definitely.
Like you said, human rights violation is 60%. Is on the increase, which of course you've done all of your investigations. It tells that yes, the human rights violation 60%. Liberia needs to improve. The issue of election, we have a very crucial process. In your 2022 report, what were your recommendations?
In its first place, the National Election Commission should respect the calendar.
The calendar. Okay.
This thing determine free, fair, participatory, credible election process in any democratic states. To be able to give the material on time, protocol, guideline, we have to do the civil voter education, elect people who go and register, people to go where the Senate going to vote in exhibition. Everything should be done on time by the National Election Commission. Number 2, a National Election Commission should be able to come out with the statistic of the number of the voters. The opposition party should be aware, or independent party should be aware. Also, the prisoners, they are citizens. It doesn't mean today they have been sentenced, they are right to be free. No. The civil voter education should be carried on there. They should also participate in the election representative. Instead, Liberia, what out like Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Sierra Leone, you got good numbers of Liberians there. They should be open to participate in this process. The Minister of Justice should adequately be prepared to minimize impunity. People should not commit a crime, should be vetted. And people should be vetted to speak their mind and also downplay their cases. It is wrong.
Okay. Let's get to the process in 2023. Your institution, what have you planned ahead of the process to make it more beautiful, make it vibrant, that the issue of observation will be to a large extent that your institution will observe and catch all of the happenings?
In this practice, the most important thing number one have to do for documentation. I speak to you, we have our visible citations, they update at the highest level. We have our task clearance. We have all the permits from the various ministry where we have the accreditation, we have a function where we need to budget the nation's effort. And we have the human resource.
Okay.
We have to do the personnel to be trained, gender balance as well. To be trained also to maintain the office. And we trying our best to be decentralized this coming around the 15 counties. People to come, so to have people that to be trained and the election when the process starts, be able to be deployed on time. Then also trying our best to see at the national and the international level on donor.
What's your organization position relative towards the preparation leading us to the 2023 elections? The National Elections Commission should have, by this time, began the voter registration. Up to this time, that process hasn't started yet. They have to postpone it. What is your organization's own position relative to all what has been around these entire elections?
Well, we try our best. All the activities have been given to, incorporate serious organization. We have been following it. And we saw some
It is 0907 are the numbers. You will be live on Good Morning Liberia. Uh, so have a caller. Yeah, 0770 907 907 0880 907 907 are the numbers. And you will be live on Good Morning Liberia. We'll take your calls now. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907 0770 907 907 0880 907 907 are the numbers, and you will be live on Good Morning Liberia 104.1 with an election observation group. They observe the electoral process, and oh my word, this person is online.
Good morning. Sorry, we lost him. What is happening with this? Line, I'm not understanding. 0770907 0880907 907 are the numbers, call us, and you'll be live on the program. We take more of a course up to 9 o'clock. We call this segment of a day right here. This person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear you the name of the course.
Yeah, my name is Anthony Jara, and I call from here today.
Go ahead, Antoinette.
Let me congratulate the chairman of the Institute for all the analysis they have been stressing on. See, when it comes to electoral process in this country, we the citizens and those people that are in charge to do such a work, they can be so American and fixing. Because both of them, like what I just heard with guys that this is number 15 election. Actually, electoral units never have challenge, but it will be someone that I know that election could not be conducted. They were going to check that ballot paper. But she did that because of peace sake. And now we are going now for election 2023. Up to now, the date I was set aside regarding voter registration was the 15th of December. Today is the 30th of December. Where are we, my brother?
That process was postponed. You listen to the National Election Commission. 0770-907-907, 080-907-907 are the numbers, and you be live. Let's take this person. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm Harriet Nusate, calling for this day. I just got to congratulate with my person instead of very good point.
Oh, you got to congratulate. Man, we got to go, man. Okay, so it tells that what you said, that people are following, and indeed. But let's wrap up now. We got to go. What your parting coming? Listen to the calls. Let's just talk to this person. You be our last caller. Good morning. We'll take 3 calls on this.
Yes, good morning.
Let's hear you. What's your name?
Security from Cowell Corporate Man.
Cowell, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes. I'm just want to congratulate the civil society and thanks so much for the hard work they've been doing, and they are so workful to the government and also working in line with the National Election Commission. Just want to thank them. Let them keep all the hard work.
African states are suffering, you know. We should speak out in independent. And
Okay.
people should be able to, have a free movement, freedom of speech, that civil rights should be respected. So as Liberians going to, enroll in this coming election 2023, which is one of the largest election, presidential in general.
Okay.
And so we pray to be adequately prepared and to participate. The election process to be free and fair, credible, and participatory.
Thanks for joining us, Pat League, and we wish you the best. I hope I got the name.
Patrice Bar.
I like the name.
And we look forward to seeing
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
It's
sure.
from Patrice Lumumba, the first advocate of Africa from DRC Congo.
Okay. League. Thanks for joining us, my
Yeah,
brother.
it was great having
Okay, it was nice having you. It's always good to have these conversations. Let's move on now, folks. Shaq Kuyata comes in very shortly. This is Good Morning Liberia, folks. Those of you just to join us, we'd like to say good morning, welcome. Yeah, 2 million people following this morning on the show. It's great to be here. Coming up very shortly, we'll take Shaq. Yes, the tough talking Shaq comes on very shortly. Those of you joining would like to say good morning. You're watching this morning. You're so special. Would like to say good morning and welcome. Yes, let's acknowledge you, Joel Moore. Thanks for joining us. Momo Swa. Thanks for joining us, Willie Talo. Thanks for joining us, Florence Taylor. Thanks for joining us, Honorable Joss Watkins Jr. Thanks for joining us, Joseph Bien. Thanks for joining us, Fede Kure. Yes, thanks for joining us, Craig. Thanks for joining us, Georgia Wonwi. Thanks for joining us, Ase Clay. Thanks for joining us, that Jasper Pape, thanks for joining us. Mustafa Sherman, thanks for joining us. Emmett Harmon says, good morning, Voice of Liberia. I'm following live from Cassidy. Thanks for joining us. Orlando Sikatipo Mine, thanks for joining us. Pape Keita, thanks for joining us. Lawyer Jala, thanks for joining us. Daniel Colley, thanks for joining us. Abraham Political Mortri Sidu, thanks for joining us. Emmanuel, thanks for joining us. Prince Brad from the RIA, thanks for joining us. And my Miata son Kind, thanks for joining the rest of the folks. Those of you joining this morning, it's great to be here. This is Good Morning Liberia, and we have the tough talking in studio this morning. It has really been a long time coming. Yes, indeed, it has been a long time coming. So we're going to welcome Shrek to the show now. Yes, we're going to welcome him to the show. It is important to have him on. Yes, it is important to have the tough talking man on. The last time we had a conversation, some of this year, I'm still wondering. But good morning and welcome to the Voice of Liberia. Welcome to our new headquarters.
Thank you very much, and good morning to the Voice of Liberia family. Good morning to my fellow and noble Liberians. And I want to say to you that the Voice of Liberia is the fastest growing media firm in Liberia, and one of the most excellent when it comes to performance, and also one of the most cleanest studios now.
This is just one of the studios, anyways.
Wow.
This is one of the studios.
And I must admit, you guys are doing your career so fast. And
yeah.
This is very, very much encouraging.
You are just like normally I like to see your dress code. Yeah. You have a body of someone who looks like the president.
People always say that.
You see that yourself?
I also see that. When I was a child, my mom used to call me Farafina Mansa. In our dialect, it means the leader of Africa. So she always used to say to me that you are a leader, and by God's willing, you shall be one day become a leader.
Are you contemplating?
Yes.
That dream?
You know, leadership is not being in the palace. Leadership is not being in the legislature. Leadership is not being in the judiciary. Leadership is having the legislature within you. Leadership is having the executive within you. Leadership is having the judiciary within you. You must speak for the people even if you're not in the executive. You must begin to advocate for the people even if you're not in the legislature. You must be able to defend the people even if you're not in the judiciary. That is what we call leadership. Leadership by definition is servitude. Yeah.
Okay. How are you now from January 1 to January 12th? That's December 12th, 2022.
I just celebrated my birthday last week.
Yes, yeah, so happy belated birthday.
Yeah, the 24th. That means 44 years.
Wow.
And I also celebrated my 22nd
government are very limited.
There are some people who were very strong in advocacy. The more they got in government, they got weaker because they were not self.
Can you make reference to him?
For example, Mr. Woos, the former Labour minister, he was one of the hope of his generation when he was coming out. Everyone wanted to be like Samuel Kofi Wood. He was very, very, articulative. He was very attentive to problems. He was assuring that every time when there's a problem, he was always there. And so people used to, when I was in Monrovia College back then, in the 90s, I went to Monrovia College in 1996, and I graduated in 1998, 99. And we all wanted to be Samuel Kofi Wood. But today, we lost that because when he got in government, he was appointed by the president. So he was not serving his will. He was serving the will and pleasure of the president. So he went contrary to the conviction. He went contrary to his belief. So I'm always afraid. I do not want to be another Samuel Kofi Wood.
our present dispensation?
Our present dispensation, you cannot say that everything is bad, everything is wrong. You know, we are hopeful that this country will be better, and I believe that Liberia deserves better. And I also believe that Liberia will not be a better country when we begin to identify ourselves by tribe, by religion, or by set or by race. Liberia is a unique country. It's the only country in Africa that was established as a land of liberty for every African. If an Igbo man is in Nigeria and he doesn't find liberty there, he's once you come to Liberia, automatically he becomes a Liberian because he becomes a man of freedom, man of liberty. So he should have the same right that men and women who are born in this country. That is how our constitution was framed. That is how this country, the foundation was rooted. And I want to see a Liberia where we will not be judged by our tribe, or will not be judged by our religion, or will not be judged by our color, or be judged based on the content of our character and the content of our thoughts.
And this is what I don't get.
Yeah.
All right. And this is what I don't get. You critical voices in the country at times, you stand, and oftentimes when we listen to you say you don't want to accept the government job because on the basis that to some extent you're being carried away. But the tinted line in it is that your concern is because those in authority are not doing it. I'm saying the rightful thing. Why is it that you don't want to accept, an offer where you can do what is right instead of those that are there and not performing?
You know, the leadership of President George Manuel is quite different from other leadership around the world and other past leaders of our country. This government believes that when you are a tough talking person, they'll bring you closer, appoint you to a position, and they say, do this. If you refuse to do it, they dismiss you. Anybody?
Can you give any practical example?
Yeah, I don't want to mention that. Now.
Yeah, but
I can give example.
Yeah,
For example,
it is important
this
for the
young
safety
man,
of the
this young man
conversation.
called Duana Sayon.
Okay.
Duana Sayon was the National Housing Authority managing director, and there was allegation of corruption, including the one Tube. And they went through the judicial system, and they were not found guilty. And the government was not able to give Duana any clearance for the Justice Ministry that he's not a criminal. Duana was suspended for time indefinite period of the investigation. The investigation went on, the result came out. In fact, the investigation was ongoing, and Duana, another person was replaced in his position, Duana Sanyo. Tubet was also replaced while they were going through the investigation, and they were not found guilty. They were not found to be corrupt people. But in the history of our people, now you check on Google, you realize that Duana Sanyo is corrupt. So to damage is very easy than to build. These are people that build their character for a very long time. And they have lost everything today because they won't be submissive to the rule of law. And I can say it to you. This country has no scarcity of leadership.
Is that what you mean?
Yes, Liberia has no scarcity of leadership. We have great minds in the country. We have people in this country that want to see this country moving forward.
What is the problem? People who can get to our main point of discussion.
Yes, the problem we have in our country is that we have not been able to institutionalize government. When people form political party, the person becomes the owner of that political party. When people become leader of our country, when they're elected as president, they personalize the presidential position. When they're elected as legislature, as lawmaker, they personalize their position as a lawmaker. So they want that, they see that because they have been elected as a lawmaker, as representative, they feel better than those that even elected them. Their family become a priority, and the people being the priority. When someone becomes president, he feels that he's above the law. They begin to do things contrary to what must be done. In leadership, one of the criteria for serving your people, when you see what people are elected for, lawmakers, the president, the judiciary, they are elected to serve and protect the people.
Okay.
And that is not being done.
We got to move on now.
Yeah.
We got to move on. Too many things to talk about. We just decided to, bring you that little days of the conversation. How is the Liberia, the first Liberia
First
movement?
Liberia First movement is an organization, a political organization that was organized by young, old, and people of our country, some of whom have physical challenges, and they organize this movement. And the vision of this movement is one Liberia, one people, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Its mission is putting Liberia first through reconciliation, empowerment, accountability, and development. Its agenda is creating an inclusive Liberia, An inclusive Liberia where we prioritize agriculture, when we industrialize agriculture, industrialize the mining sectors, where we also an inclusive education for all, an inclusive healthcare for all, an inclusive security for all, this is why therefore it's been organized for. And the motto of Liberia First movement is together we can.
Okay. But the formulation of some of these organizations sometimes either to promote, you talk about good governance, agriculture, either to promote, protect, or when it is not working at all, to make it more visible. What have you observed? There should be an observation before the establishment.
What I do observe is that most organizations are created and individuals feel that it belongs to them, as I said earlier. So this organization, which I am part of, I'm not even one of the founding members.
Yeah, not one of the founding
I'm not one of the founding members. I was selected based on my advocacy to become the SRC, meaning the servant in charge. They have a chairperson. They have a secretary general. They have leadership put in place.
Is it like you were sitting on the fence and they decided to call you?
No, I would not sit on this fence because I'm very active. In Liberia, most often when after election, those are lost election, they remain quiet until after another election. So after the 2020 election, I remained very active, remain, committed to the advocacy, and remain calling for establishing war economic crime code, calling for justice and accountability, and talking about reconciliation. They say, but what are you talking about? These are things that we have in our platform. So we would like you to come and serve as SRC, that is servant in charge of the Liberia First movement. That's how I got involved. But I'm not one of the founders of Liberia First movement.
How has it been since you're...
I can tell you the future is clear. The future is hopeful with Liberia First investment, of Liberia First movement agenda. It is a very clear agenda. This is an institution that embraces every Liberian. This institution does not have advisor on Christian affairs or Muslim affairs. This institution does not have advisor on disability and everything. You don't believe that a deputy spokesperson of the Liberia First movement, I'm sorry to use this word, is a blind person.
Visually impaired.
Yeah, visually impaired. He's a deputy spokesperson. So he's not being referred to as head of visually impaired people, this and that. But then, interestingly also, you realize that even at his highest level, one vice chairperson is also someone from such category. So they embrace everyone. A woman who has now been to school, a mother that is selling the market, is also one of the head of this institution. It'll be very amazing when you realize the leadership structure being put in place. Hey, imagine, Liberia First movement is in control of every political party, including the ruling party. Because they are saying, we do not seek for a Christian president, nor are we looking forward to a Muslim president, or a Buddhist president, or a traditional president, or indigenous president, or a Congo president, or a Congo president, or a Basque president, or Gio president, or Eastern or Southeastern president, or Fula president, or Mandingo president. We want to have a Liberian president.
Liberian
president.
Part of your vision is good governance.
Yes.
Is industrializing the agricultural sector of Liberia.
Yeah.
How do we intend to achieve all of those visions?
The industrialization of the agriculture and mining sectors is achievable through what? It's achievable through this way. Companies that are now importing rice, for example, because rice is our staple food. I had a meeting recently with the Minister of Agriculture of Nigeria. Asking him, Nigeria is a big country. How did people stop to the importation of rice, and now you're producing rice in Nigeria, and Nigerians are now eating rice made in Nigeria? He said to me, Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate, what needs to be done is that the government has to call all of those who make import of rice, that we are going to put stop to importation of rice in the next 2 years' time. We're providing you land. We're providing land to farmers, local farmers, and making the group, empower them with fertilizer and seeds to grow the rice. And you ask those people who are importing, that if you still have interest in selling rice on the market, you can have a meal plan. So we encourage you to have a meal plan. So since you are five major importers, one person will have a rice milling plan in the eastern part of Liberia. Another person will have a rice milling plan in the southern part of Liberia. Another person will have a rice milling plan in the western part, and also central and northern. So the 5 subdivision of Liberia, you develop into 5. So you have the 5 groups there. So you empower the local farmers in the 5 group. Those are in the eastern part, these are in the southern part, in the northern part, and in the central part, and western part. So they will grow the rice and bring it to sell to the rice mill. The rice mill will buy from them. So the farmers don't have any challenge anymore of who to buy the rice from them, the rice seed for them. So when the rice mill buys for them, and then that company will make the rice, and they will also have distributor. The distributor will have in Liberia today. They too will go to the same company there and get the rice from the milling plants and sell it locally. So in the next 2 years' time, with that program, after the 2 years, for example, beginning by 2024 or 2023 now, then you say 2023, 2024, 2025, there's no importation rice. So nobody be given license to import rice in Liberia. Anyone who imports rice to Liberia will be illegal and you'll be sent to jail for at least 5 years, jail term. It will change a lot of things. Our people get interest in agriculture because they realize that, yes, when I go into agriculture, what will happen? I'll begin to build a decent home. My kids will have quality education. I don't have to be begging politicians for handout. I'll become an independent person. That is our plan for agriculture. Then go to the industrialization of the mining sectors. We have gold mines. We have gold in Liberia. We have one of the best quality of gold in Liberia. We have diamond. We have tantalum. We have minerals in this country that the government of Liberia have not yet announced to the Liberian people. With these minerals, we have a program, for example, we say, okay, we will have what we call gold refinery company in Liberia. We don't have any gold refinery. So MNG and other companies that take gold from Liberia, they have another country stamp on our gold and sold on the international market. So Liberia gold is being mined in Liberia through concession. Over thousands of tons of gold is taken from Liberia to other countries, and they are being sold on the market not as Liberian gold, but either as gold from Ghana or gold from Turkey or gold from other countries. We want to have ownership. We want it to be a gold from Liberia, where the seed of our country will be on it. So we're proposing to have a gold refinery in Liberia. Okay. In this gold refinery, we'll have the government of Liberia will have minimum of 30%, and we'll have foreign investors, including local investors, will have 70%. The 30% gold that will be refined, every concessionist that have gold, when you have 1 ton of gold, 30% of that gold will go to our reserve as Liberia benefit, direct benefit for Liberia. Then you have to be paying VAT, tax to the country, the government, that's 18%. So if government takes 30% of the gold, for example, in a year time, if you're able to have 30 tons of gold in Liberia, it means that the Liberian government will have 30% of that 30 tons. 100 tons of gold, it means that the Liberian government will have 30 tons of gold. So imagine each kilo of gold today, the minimum is around $54,000 for a kilo. So 1 ton of gold is 1,000 kilos. So imagine if you have 30 tons of gold. You don't have to be begging other countries that you want them to give you free money or you want them to go to Qatar to build your hospitals. You use your gold as collateral and ask for a loan. And that loan, I spoke with the Prime Minister of La Côte d'Ivoire recently. I was in Abidjan. And he said to me, then I saw the bridge built and the road built by Alassane Ouattara. His first term. And I said, how do people do this? He said, listen, we use our resources as a guarantee to get funding, to get this contract to be implemented. Then people are paying for it. So every car that passed, whenever you go, I leave my hotel to go to the airport, the Uber at charter, I pay for 1,000 CFA to cross, to go, and when I come back, I pay 1,000 CFA. You know how much is 1,000 CFA? It's almost $2. $2. So every time you travel, you go this way, you pay $2. So they have over 500,000 cars that pass every day. So you might hit count about $2, 500,000, automatically you get how much? $1 million a day. So we'll be able to pay for the money taken to build this, to those companies that build the roof for us. We'll pay the money for taking our natural resources. It will also help to improve our GDP. It will also help to strengthen our currency. Okay. So we believe that in order to make this country better, it has to be done through inclusive wealth creation. And how do you do inclusive wealth creation? You have to firstly make the people to understand that they are one people. Reconciliation. Liberians must be reconciled one people. The furthermore, the citizenry must be empowered. The young people shouldn't be used as I will say. The young people of this country, I saw something the other time I was going to Grand Ambassador 3 days ago. I'm going to Bon County. 3 days ago, I saw a young man, I thought it was very bad coconut. I saw a young man who has 2 BSc in medical science. He was back to his village as a laborer for somebody who is in government on his farm to cut the grass for the person. So he came to me and said, Mr. Quay, I've been hearing about you. And I just come to show myself to you. I'm a graduate of this university, of Cotton University. I also went to Bombay Medical School, and I have a degree in disease clinic. But today I'm back here after being in school for over 22 years. I'm back in this place here now to do as usual. Then I saw a lot of young people on the other side. They were smoking. They were on motorbikes. So I said, what are they doing? He said, most of them are in school. And they're not in school because they see me as an example that I have spent over 20 years in school. And I'm back to this village. There's no job for me, nothing. So they don't believe that education can peace or education can change their life. So but they do what they feel. Probably they ride motorbike and some of them smoke and do other things. So I cried that day. So I say to you, I can say to you now, Liberia needs inclusiveness.
Okay.
Inclusiveness in wealth creation, inclusiveness in policy making. We should make policy where the disabled community should not be on the street. We have a policy, for example, the president has started a very good program, but that program could be diverted to say compulsory quality and free education for disabled people and their kids. So that will what happen? Our disabled people will be educated, they will have skills, so they don't have to be on the street. So in Europe, in other places, they have incentive for them, money incentive for them, and this program helped them, to sustain themselves, and they will not be on the street. And some of them become even parliamentarians. Some of them become even inventors. Some of them becomes, they do a lot of things. People from this community.
Mr. Kuyate, all of what you said cannot be achieved when you're sitting on the fence just as a movement or as a civil society institution or you name the rest. You have to be in government. Now, it addresses us to the quest or link like one time your mother told you that you be a leader. And so many times we have asked you this question: do you want to be president? And you haven't answered the question the right way. Sometimes you say there will be one day. But now, looking at the Liberia first movement, I hope I get it there. The Liberia first movement, and you now serving as
SRC.
the lead runner.
Yeah.
Does it in any way mean that this institution will be turned to a political party?
As we were seeing the likes of PFFL and the rest of them.
That you will be the standard bearer.
What I do believe is that men and women who form this movement, their vision is to have a Liberia, an inclusive Liberia.
A political, it is always, like you said, it's political.
Yeah, it has become political. In fact, they have three arms. Liberia First Movement have three arms. They have the economic arms, they have the social arms, they have the political arm. So I'm heading the political arm as second in charge.
You want to be president?
Everyone want to become a great president.
You want to be a president?
If I have the opportunity to be president of this country, I'll be very glad to serve.
Whatever opportunity do you want?
The opportunity is the people.
Well, are you setting your mind?
You need to first
yes,
declare.
I'm working towards it. I cannot just declare. I'm working for the institution. The institution with like they say, okay, let's go for convention. And going for the convention, I can only avail myself that yes, I have interest. And through the convention, if I'm elected,
Mr. always does this question.
If you are setting your mind for it, what extra support do you need to come out and say?
The extra support we need, first to inform our people about what needs to be done for our country as a government, the function of government. Because most often, people who want to serve our people, they go and begin to face road. They build toilet houses for them. They begin to pay for their weddings. They begin to give them money for children's school fees. So they convince the people they don't really know the function of a government or a leader. What must the leader do for your people? And those who build rules, when they get to power, whatever the money they get, they take the money back to replace the money for loan. So what we're saying that we want to have a Liberia. One thing I can tell you, our Sheikh Kuyate wants to become president of Liberia. I have desire to become president of Liberia. But it's also my vision for a better Liberia. It's not subject that if I'm not president, that we should not have a better Liberia.
How do you intend to work around having a better Liberia?
This is why I was a member of the CDC for over 12 years. Because when you read the PAPD, past governments of Liberia and present government, there have been no government in this country that has such brilliant and people-centered and inclusive program like PAPD program. My hope was that this could be realized. Not that I should become president. I contested for the Senate 2 times. My dream is to have a better Liberia. I'm unlike many people in this country. I believe that without them, that Liberia can be better. I believe that Liberia can be better without me being president. I believe that Liberia can be better without me being senator. I believe that Liberia can be better without me being even a lawyer. But I also believe that through our collective efforts, our sincerity to ourselves, and let this country of ours can be better for us all.
You contested 2 terms in Maserati, yet and still your message did not resonate to the people, that of which they did not support you. Now you are saying that the style of politics in Liberia, where those that want to ascend to a position will usually provide money to the people and they'll pay children school fee as a means of convincing the people. You are saying that is wrong, right? It's totally unacceptable. But that's how the electors in Liberia think what can project himself as a leader. Do you believe this way, this path we are on of not reconciling with the politics in Liberia? I mean, taking that trend. Do you see your dream of becoming a president or perhaps a leader in Liberia to any elected position soon to achieve it?
I believe that very soon I'll become one of the greatest leaders of our country. But I will not become a great leader through myself. I'll become a great leader through the team we're building. And I can tell you, Liberia First movement is one of the best teams in this country. A team that does not IC for your tribe. The form of Liberia First movement, filling it. There's nothing called tribe, there's nothing called religion. The only thing is a nationality and place of birth.
Will Kuyate appear on the ballot in 2023?
When the Liberia First movement decide to have me on the ballot, I'll be very honored.
Are you thinking of
I'm thinking of serving my country.
Are you ready?
I'm ready to serve.
You're prepared.
I'm prepared to serve my country. As soon as possible. As soon as the Liberian people say we need you now. When President we were contesting for president, many of us felt that he wasn't prepared. And he was also saying that he was prepared. And when the people got ready, they elected him. The first time, he couldn't get it. The second time, he went to be vice president because he was not prepared.
It shows that your fairness that this dream might not be realized during the 2023 elections. Evidenced by the fact that the first Liberia movement is not even
you looking into this
this movement is not even yet a political institution. Tell me that's a whole different process going and become a political institution.
My friend
before going for convention and appearing in the Bible. So
let me tell you something. On our law, we can have any independent presidential candidate, as we normally have independent legislative candidates. And Liberia First movement reminds me of the president of Lesotho now. He was an advocate also, unknown president, not even known in the political system of Lesotho. The ruling party was very strong. Opposition was strong. They had a collaboration they had with CPP. But when people realized that these people were there, then the ruling party came, there were no difference. So they went for the movement was created. 7 months to election, we still have 10 months to election, and this gentleman won the election.
But you must be registered.
Yeah, but guess what happened? Liberia First movement is going through the process.
It's going through the
process of National Election Commission.
Okay, so that we can say the first movement will be on the ballot. Let's move on the issue of leadership in the 3 branches of government. You have the legislature, the national legislature, you have the executive and the judiciary. Your own observation so far, and maybe you could just summarize it and then we'll move on to other issues in Liberia you've been putting so far.
Yeah. I think they cannot say they have failed totally, but the expectations of the people have not been met. Let's begin with the executive.
Okay.
The executive made a statement during the inauguration. He held the executive president. He said, the Alman leadership, Liberians will not be strangers or spectators.
Spectators in our own economy.
Today, our economy is being driven, but most often it's foreigners. And Liberian business people, most of them are out of business today. Example like Kalando, who I don't have a relationship with. Kalando has lost his space in Liberian business in the petroleum sector, in business because he worked for opposition.
You want to restrict that?
I want to just make an example. When you make a statement, you should make reference.
Okay.
Because this man was in the opposition and as a businessman, so the governor took over saying, okay, those who were in opposition, we would deprive them many opportunities. So today, calendar is not the calendar we used to know. That's one. And secondly, executive also a show that under the leadership of President George Weah, that corruption will be a taboo. That accountability will be the way forward. The president promised that he and his cabinet would declare the assets of the president. President Weah have not declared asset. And the president Weah knew a good friend of mine, a big brother that I respect very, very highly, who also encouraged me to be in politics. This is something you don't know. This man, when he took over, he had two properties in Liberia, the Simcoe property and the rehab property. When he became president, he had not started the construction of the homes where you have the church today. In the period of 11 months, he was able to build over 30 duplexes. And when he did that, the Minister of State, the former Minister of State, and all other cabinet ministers began to do construction. And there's no accountability. No one in the present we are government have declared the assets. Yes, there is the asset I have. That's one. Two, let's go straight to the legislature. The legislature should be the voice of the people. Should be the direct representation of the people.
Before we can get to the legislature, if you were talking about President Weah on the issue of corruption, did you follow the MCC scorecard? Recent report on Liberia.
Yeah, when you talk about the MCC scorecard, we discussed about the four that came out of the
Let's focus on corruption.
Corruption, the first one. The first report said this government was corrupt. The second MCC scorecard said government was corrupt. The third said it was corrupt. The fourth said it was corrupt. The fifth said, yes, they are adjustments. It's getting better. They're leaving the corruption. They've said, because when your child went to school, he failed the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and the fifth year he improved. That's improvement, but that doesn't mean the child is an excellent child. The fact that the child failed 4 times, it's alarming.
It should be a plus.
No, it should not be a plus. If your child failed in school 5 times, this man went somewhere to work and did the attitude test. They put money in the office, and the person closed the office. They put the camera on. He stole the money for the first time. Then they put the camera on the second time. He stole the money. They put the camera on the third time. He stole the money. They put the camera on the fourth time. They stole the money. Every time he steals the money, they will come and say he has stolen. The fifth time he refused to take the money. It's not applause. It's something to say yes, he has.
The child is like
we can remember sometimes on July 25th, 2018.
Yeah.
The General Auditing Commission has announced to the Liberian people that it received the asset declaration of the President George Weah. That's 6 months after he was inaugurated. Oftentimes when I listen to you, you say President Weah hasn't declared his asset. I mean, how can we verify what you say?
Can you give me the report, the asset of declared by President Weah? Since you have the report, since GSC said he had it.
The GSC said
yeah, but the GSC, did you get it from GSC?
And up to this time, I'm yet to receive a copy.
Okay, good. So as long as it has not been given to the price yet, it's not in the preview of the meet of the public. It has not been given to the president. President, we also stated that he will provide 25% of the salary to the Liberian people. Have we asked ourselves where the 25% being going? Who be receiving the 25% for President Weah? No. So, but let's just go forward because we don't have much time.
Yeah,
so we'll go to the legislature. Legislature should be the direct representation of the Liberian people. But guess what happened? We have more good people there than bad people. But the bad people are more stronger than the good people in the legislature. That's why when there's a bill to be passed against the Liberian people, they receive money for it and they have passage of it. That's when people who are not credible to self-serving position, like the Minister of Foreign Affairs that we have today, who was accused and was not even investigated, and he went easily and passed through the past. It was approved or confirmed through the Liberian legislature, the Senate, as a Minister of Foreign Affairs. That is alarming. You understand me? So if we have
the last time we talked about this thing,
yeah, I'm saying if we have a legislature that can do research. Imagine recently, the president of LBDR had to resign his position, because of a research by a young man, Martin Colley, who did a research and proved that this person never had a credential that he was given, and this man was serving a high position in government because LBDR is a very investment bank. So because of that individual, the man was compared to resign his position. Have we been able, as a legislature, well, Senator from Sano County, what's his name? He was one of the strongest advocates some time ago during Chancellor time. Milton Tiaji.
Okay.
Milton Tiaji made a statement that many of the confirmation we do here is based on interest. Sometimes people don't give us money, but when we confirm them, they also allow us to hire our people to be employed. You got that information. So that was a clear indication that the people were not confirmed because they were qualified, but they were confirmed because our lawmakers were more concerned about themselves, or are more concerned about themselves than the Liberian people. Then you go to the judiciary. The judiciary.
So if you were like to grade the legislature, now you talked about the issue of the executive, the issue of corruption, and all on the increase. Though they passed the NCC scorecard, but it was not excellent.
Yeah.
If you will grade the two institutions, let's just
let me be very honest with you. The executive become very functional when you have a responsible and credible legislature. Because the executive function through the check and balance of the legislature. The executive does nothing without the approval of the legislature. So you cannot blame the executive that they have failed and praise the legislature. So when I am to grade both right now, and also interestingly, the legislature and the executive could be given 60% each.
60%
each.
You got okay, 60% as passage.
But in school, when you miss 60%, you should.
You just have 40.
So I mean, it didn't.
So many they try.
They try. You understand me? Then you go to the judiciary. The judiciary the first time a coup d'etat within the judiciary.
What do you think before we can go to the judiciary? What do you think the legislature should have done in the interest of the country?
I think the lawmaker, there should be a forum or a summit where the lawmakers should be informed of their responsibility.
They don't know their responsibility.
Most of them do not know their responsibility. This is why most of them are following the president, because the president should be looking at them, as an example, because the legislature serves as a founder. The presidential position is like a ceremonious position, because the president does nothing without the approval of the legislature. You understand me? So when you have a legislature that is very tough, very strict, an incredible or legislature of integrity, of credibility, I tell you something, President Weah will be afraid to do some things. Imagine the president on our law, the President Weah should have not been out of those times he went. But he went, he spent this time, he sent another report, I'm going for forum. A forum in France the president could be represented by his Minister of Foreign Affairs. I mean, by his ambassador in France. You understand me? Or the Minister of Foreign Affairs could go and represent the president there. Because the president presence is very important. But imagine the president left this country for 40 more days and came back. The legislature had not been able to ask the president, why is it that you took all this time there? Can you give a clear report to us on these things? Then the president came, what happened? The president went to the church, which I loved. I respect people who who have faith in God.
Okay.
When you went to church, I was happy that the president came out, he went straight to the church. But what did he do? He used the church as a place of provocation, where he referred to people that they have big stomach and they went to go march that.
You think it was not necessary?
It was not necessary to have said that there. I think the president we actually should begin to think that he's a president of Liberia. They should address Liberian people as Liberian, but not to address only civilians.
I think he was speaking to some of the issues behind him.
Issues could be speak to. For example, President we could have a press conference, press conference at the executive mansion, invite all the media institutions in the morning hour, 9 to 10 o'clock. Everyone is to go to the radio and get a message from the president that he went out and what did he achieve? What were some of the challenges? What were things that kept him delayed in the out of Liberia for 7 days up to 40 plus days? Then the president should also. I as a private citizen, I'm concerned of a statement made by the chief of staff of Liberia, of the armed forces of Liberia, where he said that there were people who were messaging him, talking about coup d'etat.
Okay.
That is very alarming. Yes, I want President Weah not to be re-elected, but I do not wish to see President Weah dead, and I do not want to see President Weah be removed illegally.
Do you see something to that statement?
That statement that he made.
That's exactly how
that statement that he made is alarming, and I don't think that the chief of staff should be free this time, moving around with convoy without being cautioned, because I will not sit here, call you, and tell you something about Sekou Sharif, your CEO, that what we can do, man, we can remove your CEO from their position, send the text message. I will send the text message to you to remove Sekou Sharif if I don't believe that you also have the same belief. And the question is, who are those that send those messages to the chief of staffs? We want to know, because the safety of the president matters. The president is the first citizen of our country. If he is not safe, we know that we have this issue of insecurity. We have people disappearing. We have, mysterious deaths. We have the issue of rapes. But the chief of staff, meaning the armed forces of Liberia, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia, chief of staff, came out. The chief of staff came out to say that some people be messaging him to have coup d'etat. We want the chief of staff to tell us who are those people that were messaging him and why would they message him?
It's important. Don't you think he has briefed the president?
No.
You don't want to believe?
I don't want to believe that. This is a national issue. It's a national security issue. The people must know what those. Because let me tell you something. It could be maybe there are people who want to get into power. If they want to get to power through violence, we must stop them right now. We don't believe violence. We don't support violence. Even the time when I attended the retire rally, there's a statement made by Honorable Yeke Kolba. I disagree with that statement. When he said, when the government comes with gun, we'll come with gun. When the student was student, I said, I was not part of that. When I was interviewed after the program, I said, I'm not part of that. I don't believe in that.
We will come to the protest. But do you think this statement,
the chief of staff,
is
alarming?
It's alarming.
The coup d'etat in Mali. The coup d'etat in Mali The people who staged a coup d'etat, they came from the army that went for peacekeeping. The coup d'etat in Guinea are people who went for peacekeeping also in Mali. The coup d'etat in Burkina Faso. So all of the coup d'etat have been happening are people who have gone for UN mission. And we have the armed forces of Liberia and the UN mission in Mali that have a military government, that have interim government, where the military took from the democratic government. So when the president, the minister, the chief of staff made such a statement, I think every Liberian, this is not about party. This is not about, I'm from this party, I'm from imposition, opposition, I'm from this position. But we need to have a clarity from the chief of staff. Why did he say it, and who are those that saying message, and why would he send those message?
Part of the debate is that before we move on quickly,
Yeah.
part of the debate to that is that many Liberians think the chief of staff did a patriotic duty to Liberians by informing the public that this is what Liberians think I should be doing at this time. But in all fairness, I have pledged my loyalty and my commitment to a peaceful Liberia. So I want to inform Liberians that are saying I should go about on the back of the president, I should remove the president, I should overthrow him, that I am not in for that. To some extent, Liberians think that.
If you want to believe that it's a patriotic statement instead of being a sycophantic or statement, he should unveil the names of those that want the president to be removed.
Do you want it?
We Liberia want that. We want, including myself. Well, I want to know who are those people who, because this is what we call a war economic crime code. Because if those people are arrested, prosecuted, then a lot of people will not begin to think about that. We have gone through a lot. This country has been dragged to violence for so long. We live a chaotic life. Now you feel age from age 11 up to age 22. I need nothing but violence.
How would they want people, the first Liberian movement, see the army if the chief of staff go to the extent and reveal the names of those that are called on him to...
Then we will know that we have a responsible army.
Okay. Let's go to the judiciary in 1 minute. Then we will come to the issue of the
judiciary of President Jones. In recent times, the French judiciary even had a coup d'etat, where one of the associate justices was removed, and the chief justice presided over that, and this person was illegally removed because it was an allegation of corruption for which he was removed. And I can tell you, the Speaker of the House have been involved in similar allegation. The President of the Republic have been involved in similar allegation. Strong ministers, to the extent that even the international community sanctioned three strong members of the executive. The then Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Nathaniel McGill, the then Managing Director of National Port Authority, Mr. Bill Tawi, the then Solicitor General. That is one of the most prestigious positions in the Justice Ministry, was sanctioned by the international community for corruption. So imagine that if the international community had not come out to say we are sanctioning these people, they would have been there forever. So I'm saying to this government that if we want to bring justice to our country, justice must now have eyes to see.
Okay. Let's move on the issue of the protest. You have participated in lots of protests. We retired suffering the most recent protest. What is the other one that was held on the 26th day? Face the country protest. You talked about war crime code. There's just news in there, news all over that. You people who participated in the Retire Suffering campaign, you guys were paid. You guys were paid to be part of the process.
Firstly, the Retire Suffering, I was not even in the country when it was organized. I was in Europe. Then when I got the information, I said, and I spoke to Mr. Brown, Louis Brown, and I said to him, what are you organizing the protest? And Mr. Brown, Honorable Brown said to me, Sheikh, we are organizing the protest to acknowledge that the Liberian people are suffering.
Okay.
So the government can speak on it and come with a solution on how we can reduce the suffering of our people. Then I asked him, is it a political rally? He said, I said, but I'm saying the logo of LP and ANC on it. It's because we are organizing, like how you guys organize a protest all the time. We have your logo, and other people, our young people, when they join you. So that's how we have our logo on it, but it will not be a political rally. So that's okay. Are we there? He said, are you coming? I said, yes. So I got my ticket. I should be here on that Thursday, on the 15th. Sadly, I missed my flight because of traffic. So I got another flight to Casablanca for Casablanca, Monrovia. I arrived here 5 a.m. in the morning. And when I got through everything, I got to my house around 8 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. I got home by 8 a.m. because of traffic and other things. And by 9 o'clock, just when I took a shower, just wore my clothes, I drove quickly. I went to the ANC headquarters. When I went there, I met them. I said, what is it? Hold on. They said, no, we're trying to wait for men. I said, no, you don't have to wait for men. We must begin to mobilize now. So we had 200 men for Liberia First Movement, we called them the King, and we were giving t-shirts to wear. Nobody gave them money for boxes.
You were giving t-shirts to wear? Which type of t-shirt?
They would tie stuff in t-shirts.
Did you
lay the photo on it?
You saw your
supporters. I didn't see Mr. Cummings' photo on that t-shirts. I received it.
Where were the t-shirts given?
At the party headquarters.
We at the party headquarters during the morning hours who followed that entire campaign.
Yeah.
That particular Friday, we assigned all of our reporters.
Yeah.
Almost all of what the people were wearing, aside from Cummings who are going to the rally ground last minute of time with that Retire Suffering campaign. All of them we saw Cummings' photo.
The people that we went with, including myself, none of us wore the t-shirt of ANC. We wore the t-shirt with Retire Suffering. And I can tell you that there were t-shirts, thousands of t-shirts are printed with only Retire Suffering. And we got 200 of those t-shirts and we participated. And we are very proud.
Did you see a little contradiction for the
concept? I have my own observation. The observation is it was intended for the people to acknowledge how people are suffering. But when we went to SKD, in fact, before getting the SKD, when Mr. Cummings got down and began to work with us, because Mr. Brown and I, others, including the senior advisors and Mr. Dr. McIntosh, we were all walking from ANC office Old Road, at Catley Junction.
Yeah, Catley Junction.
All the way to go to the SKD. So when Mr. Cummings got down later and joined us, and we saw people chanting the political song for him, which is also obvious because he's the politician. So there was partisans of his party who were among us, and in fact, some of them were organizers. So they were chanting him as the next president. But when we got to the program, when I heard people introducing Cummings as the next president, that this suffering will stop through the next president, I began to ask myself, then I want to listen to Cummings' message. If a message will give solution to retire suffering, then I will agree that he's the next president. Then we were given a chance to speak. I think you guys have my recording. And I was very clear that we have not come to endorse the CPP or to join anybody. We have come to acknowledge that Liberian people are suffering. And because they are suffering, that's why the stadium at which the president made a pronouncement that Liberians would not be spectators. Today they are not even spectators. They don't have entrance to that stadium anymore.
Is that what you think?
You understand me? So because they were denied of using the stadium, and a lot of things I said, the reality. Then Mr. Cummings, people came and introduced him. There was some political statement I made, and I actually felt disappointed with those statements. I don't think that Mr. Cummings should have even spoken the way he spoke. It
was a contradiction.
It was a contradiction to my understanding. So that's how
you walked from Catholic Junction to the SKD to be disappointed, Mr. Kuyate.
No, about walking from SL to SKD, that walk was not a walk for Sheikh Kuyate. I was walking believing that I eat 3 times a day, or even more than 3 times a day. I was walking knowing that my children are in the best schools in the world. I was walking knowing that I have place to sleep. I was walking knowing that I have any challenge when it comes to having means of traveling. I've been out of the country for over 2 months too, and I was walking to also also knowing that I have no challenge as a person, that I'm suffering in this country, while walking to tell the world that even though I'm failed, but there are millions of Liberians who do not even have stomach, who don't even have one meal to eat, and they are out there today. I'm working for them. I'm working to tell you that even though my kids are in the best schools, that there are mothers and fathers in our country who could not afford food, who cannot afford food for their children, and they wanted I was working to acknowledge that these people are there, or those people are there that never had that food. I was also working to acknowledge that there are millions of Liberians that want to speak out, but because of fear of what happened, gifting a lot of people, they're afraid to come to speak out. I want to tell them that I will speak to them.
And you ended disappointed.
There was also appointment though. It was not just a disappointment. in totality. I was happy that ANC or or the CPP was able to organize such a rally when Liberians from all walks of life, from different political backgrounds, but different.
But your expectation was not met. The man went to do political statement, Mr. K. You just acknowledge your fact.
Sometimes you marry a woman, you want to have so boys, and you have 2 children, and you have a girl and a boy. It doesn't matter the expectation. The goal is that you want to have children. The goal was to acknowledge to the world, and there was on CNN, there was on BBC, there was on Al Jazeera, that Liberians from all parties were out to acknowledge that Liberians are suffering.
Let's go to the telephone line. Let's look at the opposition. We activate the lines now in 1 minute.
Yeah.
Let's look at the opposition bloc. 2023 is right next door. This is a year-end message, and it's good that we decided to have this conversation on a very cool note that we're now going like the usual way. So this is important. Let's look at the opposition, the standing of the opposition. You listened to the president the last time in one of his birthday celebrations. That was, I think, year before last, when he said he's going to defeat the opposition more than 2017. Is the opposition bloc ready? Do you see a transition? Do you see the George Weah-led administration being a one-term government?
And the first thing people have to define what is opposition. Whether you're opposing the wrong or you're opposing the right. Those who are opposing the wrongdoings in our country, we have most of them in the Liberian government. That is why information that come out to people, to the international media, to the local media, for international partners, from within the government, to tell you clearly that there are more opposition against the wrongdoing of this country in government than even out of government. So the issue should not be about those who are in government, who are not in government. The opposition, those are also referring to themselves as opposition. I don't think that they are the true representation of opposition. Because I remember a few years back, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, they organized themselves into a team, a stronger team, where the ruling party was defeated, in totality with Monserrato County. And right after the election, they disengaged. So I don't see them as strong as that people believe them. But the fact that they fooled the people, deceived the people during the election, they did a midterm election, came together, and that midterm election, they won almost 60% of the people vote. That includes some independent candidates who also who saw themselves opposition, So because they did that, I think a lot of people got discouraged about it, and the manner in which they separated. So I don't think people have.
They don't have the chance.
It's not about chance. It's that people don't have confidence in them. That's why there will be alternative. The issue won't be anymore about choosing between lesser evil and higher evil. The issue of Liberian leadership now will be about choosing between the good and evil.
In short, that's what the
President George Weah, the government President George Weah have already declared that indeed it is an evil government. And I can tell you yesterday's statement from my young brother, who is the mayor of Monrovia and also the SG of the CDC. He made a statement yesterday that he would do everything possible to bring Ms. ANC to the CDC and to ensure that after Mr. Weah, his dream of Mr. Weah winning the second term, after Mr. Weah's second term, that he will make Cummings the next president. That was a clear indication that even all opposition to support them that they cannot win election because it's NPP and PLP, LP, and the other party don't have trust in them.
The lines are activated. We take 30 seconds each. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. We'll go for 3 minutes. 2 minutes time, Mr. Kuyate will wrap up this person. Good morning, quickly. 30 seconds. What's your name?
Good morning, sir.
Let's hear you. 30 seconds.
Thank you very much. My name is Charles D. Kelly, and I do join you from District 17, Broadview, to be precise, Pakistan.
Let's hear you quickly.
Okay. My second has been joined to your second point. I want of those who did not criticize.
Just go to the point, my brother. 30 seconds. Go to the point.
Yeah. To the talking point now. we tell something about it. I'm one of those who did not extend it, but I was not also against it. The reason why I did not extend it because the purpose of that body was not ready to tell the world that the people was suffering. It was
Okay.
just to protect the presidency of the Sukumi.
Okay, thank you. Talk to this person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Let's hear you quickly. 2-minute calls.
Yeah, this is Andrew calling. I come from here.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Secretary, I want to ask you, you want to call the Ghana advocating for the land dispute in Nima. I want to know
how far it is. Good morning.
Let's stick to the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's hear you.
Good morning to Mr. Kuyave.
Good morning.
I'm Furious and I join you from Tingles Village, Kingsville City.
Go ahead. Let's hear.
My name is Daniel Yang, state political electrician in Akop, Nigeria.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, anyway, I want to say good morning to the student here. I'm down with the statement here, saying that most majority of the people that went there, some people who were full or can afford their daily meal, but all of people.
Fellow Liberians, Liberia is all we have. Let's do everything to resolve our differences. Let's reconcile ourselves as one people. In one people, one nation, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Let's support a government that will empower people. Let's think about accountability and justice. So let's all support the establishment of war and economic crime code. With that, many issues in the country will be resolved. And Liberia is all we have. What I want to say to you for the new year, we should not be thinking that this president of our country, President George Weah, that evil things should happen to him. We should not think about him being removed violently. Let us all think that the way we elected him democratically, we should do everything possible that he's removed democratically. And one Liberia, one people, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless you. God bless Liberia. Thank you so much.
Thanks for accepting our invite. Right. We got to go home on this edition. Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate from the Liberia First Movement, being our guest on this edition. Many thanks to all of our followers, our listeners, our viewers. It has been a wonderful year at Voice of Liberia. Given the fact that you've been consistent following us, we say thank you. We appreciate everything we do. May God richly bless you and may you succeed in 2023. The next time you listen to us on the show will be in 2023. Harris.
Yeah, Paco, definitely. And we hope and pray that all of our viewers, our listeners will enter the new year with us. I mean, that's my prayer for them. And happy new year in advance. 2023 promises to be a good one a year of Voice of Liberia, being more tough talking individuals here to discuss the issues in Liberia. So we say happy New Year in advance to every one of you.
Thank you. My name is Parker April, and Harry's would have been around. Thanks for having us. Coming up is the news.
Shaka Zulu, African soldier. Listen, let's say African soldier.